what is the biggest myth that people believe they need to become more relatable?
Ooh, the biggest myth I would say is that people think that they have to be extroverted. They believe that in order to be relatable, you're obviously part of it is putting yourself out there and connecting to people. And they feel like, what do I do if I'm an introvert? Or what do I do if I'm shy? And so that's a question I get over and over again. And the fact is, you can be just as relatable, regardless of whether you are on this side of introversion or this side of extroversion. It's all something that you can do and be no matter where you fall.
One of the common things that comes up on our podcast, and we've had meeting professionals, which I know you deal with frequently through your keynotes, and whether it's, during the pre-event calls or on site or the post-event or everything in between, event planners, event marketers who are so outward facing and so in the spotlight, if you will, often I find are, in their own words, introverts. So while they're in situations where they're exposed, they're very, very visible, they have this sense of this introversion, but are able to turn it on. How do you square that? How do you reconcile that? Where a myth is you don't have to be an extrovert, but to be relatable, it requires some level of connection, some level of reaching out, extending yourself, or being open. So how do you reconcile that?
One of my favorite hacks for my introverted friends who are looking to make more connections or be just more comfortable with being out there and having conversations and being more relatable is actually being more curious. So it's something that has been studied, and they find that in the research that the people who speak the most in a conversation rank it the highest. So I always say for my introverted friends, if you are in a situation where you do feel kind of out there and you have to have these conversations, ask questions, get people talking, get the other person talking. Yes, it does require you to talk a little bit, but you're redirecting it. And so ask questions of the other person and then ask some follow up questions. We don't want to interrogate, but at the same time, you can start to have that conversation, put the emphasis on them. All of a sudden, they're talking, they think, oh my gosh, this person is giving me so much attention and they're being so present that all of a sudden they think, wow, that's an amazing human being because they're getting that presence from them without them having to actually put themselves too far out there.
That's a great tip. Being interested, I've heard the phrase, it's way more important to be interested than
Mhm.
interesting. Um,
Yes.
and
Yes.
that's a great life hack, particularly for the introverts. I'm not saying all meeting professionals are. I know a lot that index way on the other end of it. But this is why our viewers and subscribers come back here. So I just want to give a shout out. Hello. As you know, we're growing the channel. So subscribe, like, love, share and share alike. And just thanks for continuing to trust us and believe in us as a place that's important to get great information for your personal and professional life.